Oh, Chit Chat Kit Kats. Oh my God. I was just watching this. The series is really interesting. Monster in My Family. And it's started by this girl. Her father was a serial killer. And she, it's, you can't imagine the confusion of having a family member that these people had a connection with, and then all of a sudden found out her dad's a serial killer. So that could really mess with somebody. But she's interviewing this Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker family. And as a child, he was a lovely child, and just the family he came from, and what a tragedy. I mean, you listen to it, and his mother and father were just, do really weird stuff. And then he had, was it an uncle or brother or uncle, but somebody came back from Vietnam. And when Richard Ramirez is a young child, he's showing him pictures of women in Vietnam that he raped and tortured and mutilated. As a young child, he's being shown this. And then the guy would show how to cut dogs' necks. I mean, it was just, you look at that, and then of course, Ramirez got into Satanism and became the Night Stalker. But you look at it, and you can't help but feel that it's such a tragedy that this didn't have to happen. But the way that his life was set up, you can see how this downward slide could happen. It's really a tragedy. And his family members know him as Richie, and you think the Night Stalker Richie, But then you hear the story of this guy's life, and you're just like, oh my, really sick, really sad. So he just, from a young age, was really indoctrinated. It's the only way you can say it. At a time when he's so impressionable. And what a waste. What a sad waste. And, of course you can't, his poor victims. But also you look at it and you see what happened in this guy's life, and you're just, oh my God. And you can see the road that led him to what he became. And it's a tragedy all the way around. It's a tragedy in his life. It's a tragedy for the victims. And it just really, when you look at it, makes you take pause. Because there was a lot more behind the story of what created the Night Stalker. Okay. So I'm going to leave this here, but going to say, really, if you have time, watch the link of this. It's just, the only way you can say it is tragedy. Tragedy that he could have made something of himself, but what he was presented as a child growing up, the events, and situations, you can see how this could create what he became. And just really sad. And to be a family member of somebody, one of these most, heinous killers, the Night Stalker. And this is his, cousin or aunt speaking, and just the whole story is just, it just makes you sad. It makes you sad for Ramirez, with what happened with him as a child, and how this just really, I was doing the reading and laid out the card, and it said he became ill. Yeah, he became mentally ill because of all this stuff that had happened. And then he got into the Satanism and stuff and thought this was going to bring him luck and power and this and that. Just really got convoluted and turned, and but watching, I just feel such a sadness for what this guy became, how he became what he became, and what a tragedy it is all the way around. For him, for his victims, for the family, the whole thing is just, I just feel a really heaviness in the heart, and just tears, to the point of tears. Really feeling to the point of tears. Yeah, a sadness. Now, I think it is that when he went over there and had that life review, okay, he had to feel the pain of everybody that he put these people through, okay? Because when you're out of delusion. When he was here, he was in that delusion, that mental, was not in his right mind. And I just feel a great heaviness and a sadness. Great heaviness and sadness. Now, it's not something I would have ever expected that I would feel for the Night Stalker, because he was tortured people. I mean, just the crimes, the things he did. So heinous. But I do feel this great, just such a heaviness of heart and in tears, and great sadness. So I'm going to leave that here. Now, I know there will be people that say, how could you feel that? How could you, he's so horrible, and, well, yeah, the crimes he did were heinous. Nobody's disputing that at all. These people suffered, okay? But again, you go and you look at the whole thing, the way that this went. and it's all you can say is a tragedy the whole way around. So I'm going to leave this here. Let me know if you watch this, but this is I think 13 minutes in, and it's a 13 minutes in, and it's a 45-minute show. I'm going to watch the rest of it, but just into this 13 minutes already and doing this reading, he was yeah, I'm going to watch the rest of it, and then, so I can disconnect from that energy pretty soon, because it is very heavy. Very, very heavy energy. Sadness, just pain, sadness, sorrow. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this here.